You know, when everybody talks about their favorite games through the Nintendo, nobody talks about Blaster Master. Blaster Master was the first game I ever bought out of my own money. I was absolutely captivated when we rented it at a cousin's house, and then I just had to go get it. So I took my paper route money and actually paid for this sucker myself. So I figured it would be fun to unbox this right in front of you. This is my box copy of Blaster Master and it has everything included. The cart's in fantastic shape. I'm just pulling it out here. And we'll pull out the sleeve. So all the paperwork in here is the original paperwork. We've got the manual, we've got the poster, we've got the t-shirt mail-in order, the piece of styrofoam's at the bottom. It is a very, very, very special piece of cardboard to me. And yeah, it's really cool that I still have this thing because I lost all of my collection. So it's really, really important to me that I have the first game I ever bought out of my own money. So we'll take a look here. We'll go through kind of what's in here. This is the manual. It's in great shape. A little bit of a bend in the bottom right corner, but not a big deal. And I'm just trying to get the poster out here. Special offer of the t-shirts. And let me just grab this in here. This is the piece of styrofoam. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to rearrange it here a little bit. It's hard to get styrofoam out. I'm kind of bending the box up a little bit, but I won't bend it too much, believe me. It's too sacred to me. Don't worry about it. And the other thing I wanted to do as well, while we're doing this, I actually wanted to play a little bit of the Super Nintendo port that was made of this game, unofficial port. It eliminates slowdown and looks marginally better than really crappy composite on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So we're definitely going to do that. I'm just going to take a look here. I haven't actually looked at this poster in a very, very long time, but it is in mint condition. Not anymore, probably. But anyways, I'll try to get a good visual here that you guys can see. It's kind of hard to do this in front of the camera here, but you know, I'll try my best here. 1 second. All right, I'm beating everything up. Everything's banging into the wall. Look at that. I always thought that the back part was the eyes. I always thought that it was like it was squinting or something. The monster itself, which it isn't, of course. But that's what it looked like to me. So this is a really crazy game. When I think of the first Metroidvania that, you know, pops into my head, it would actually be Blaster Master, believe it or not. This manual here, by the way, I skipped this manual as a child, and what I didn't realize is it actually has the maps and the directions that you can go. If you look at it, we're just going through the controls here, but the next page, I believe, is the one that has the actual map. Let's see here. No. It's just more buttons. And where is it? Alright, so showing the title screen, or the inventory screen and all that stuff, the menu screen. But this is a great manual, by the way. If you didn't know, there's also a novel of some of these games from Nintendo. So there's the map. Shows you how all the levels actually interconnect. This is something that you definitely need, and if you didn't have the manual, you would not know how this all interconnects. Yeah, you might be like, well, how do these maps work? Those big squares are open rooms, and you'll know them when you're in them because they scroll horizontally and vertically. So that's how you know kind of where you are. A lot like Metroid, right? But there was no built-in map to the game. These bosses are amazing, by the way. And the crazy part is most people never even got to see half of these bosses because the game is actually quite difficult. But the Super Nintendo port that I'm going to play actually gives a few quality of life improvements and stuff, which is always a fantastic thing. So it talks a little bit about the stages here, which is always good. And then we're just looking at the statistics of the vehicle. So we'll just slide that down here, and we'll take a look at the rest of it, if I can grab it. Man, I don't want to bend anything. But look at that cart, though, guys. Very clean, very minty. Really happy with having this game. Like I said, it is a classic. I love it. I absolutely love it. But it's one of those games that I'm almost intimidated to play it because I feel like it's a hard game. And the Nintendo version, if you game over on it, you have to start right over, and that makes it difficult. But like I said, the port that I'm going to be playing, that's not a problem at all. So we're just taking a look here. Look at that. Get your Nintendo Power. Let's do it. Man, I wish I could get Nintendo Power right now. I freaking love that magazine. If anything needs to come back, it's Nintendo Power. Let me know in the chat if you agree. Oh, man. There it is, guys. That is all the pieces there, and my Blaster Master. I'll just start putting it back together here, and let's get into some of the gameplay. Alright, so let's talk about this title screen. Just the flashing colors and everything else. It's hugely nostalgic to me. Playing it on the CRT, of course, is the intended experience. You'll see some pulsing and stuff with the scan lines, but that's just how it is. It's got that classic look, right? I mean, all these sprites and stuff are pretty limited. This story is way different than the Japanese version, of course. Way different. But this is the game that I grew up with. This is the version that I grew up with. It's all about going after your mutated frog for some reason. You have, you know, radiation just happens to be sitting in your backyard, and you just come across this insane tank with a suit that just seems tailor-made for you. But you don't question it, because it's the Nintendo. And it was awesome. You don't question awesome things, do you? Well, I don't. Alright, so you're taking off, and here we are. Like I said, this is the SNES port of this game, and it eliminates the slowdown. I will say the original version had a lot of slowdown, but that's because it really tried to achieve things that at the time were just not possible. This also uses Sunsoft's proprietary sound. Sunsoft games, if you don't know, had such punchy music. And honestly, back then, hearing something like this was mind-blowing. And just being able to drive in a tank and get out of your tank was just crazy to think. And this tank actually has a lot of abilities that you have to use as a puzzle-solving mechanism. And you also can, like, heal in it. So if you get out of your tank and go back in, your little guy will actually be fully healed. But obviously it doesn't heal your tank. You gotta repair that. The P power-ups that you're seeing all over the place. So look at these guys. These definitely look like Metroids. There's your Metroidvania. I'm only joking, but it's kind of crazy to look at the little transparency. It's not a real transparency, of course. It's a hole in the actual enemy types. But we're going to do 2 levels here today, guys. I just want to show you guys 2 levels of this game. This punchy base and everything else. So this overhead, like 3 1/4 overhead aspect, was really mind-blowing back then as well. And the animation's really, really good. If you played things like Fester's Quest is a little bit like this, but I would say that Fester's Quest is definitely not as polished as Blaster Master. This game is a friggin' masterpiece, man. I love it. So yeah, like I said, this was the first game I ever played, or not played, but I ever bought out of my own money. And that's why it's so special to me. But it just plays as well today, and there are a lot of Blaster Master games that came out since. Blaster Master 2 came out for the Sega Genesis, but honestly I thought it was garbage compared to this version. This is the definitive version of the original games anyways. This is a classic, man. So we're coming up here, we got these head guys. These guys used to scare me. I had nightmares about them when I was young. Yeah, they're kind of creepy looking, right? I don't know what their official names are. We're going up here. I used to call this the Mother Brain. I don't know if it's called Mother Brain or if it's just called Brain or what it's called. But if you spam your bomb button, you can basically annihilate this. There are enemies in this game and bosses that you can pause the game when you use the bombs. I never needed to do that, but it is an exploit that you can use in order to make the bosses a little bit easier. So we got our first upgrade for our tank here. That's gives us a more powerful a beam so that we can actually kill enemies a lot faster. So here we are, we're swimming back. I love swimming in this, by the way. It actually feels good. So this part here, believe it or not, there's a lot of aspects of the game that you have to traverse in this smaller form, which is really damn cool. So we're just jumping back in our tank here. We're going to go to the secret area that you can actually look at the map, like I said, to get to Area 2. But remember, this game's not linear. Like, level 2 doesn't necessarily lead to 3. It does in this case, but it doesn't always go like that. You'll get into a level and you'll have to go backtrack in order to go to the next levels. So it's like very asymmetrical, which is really cool. Without this gun, you can't actually blow up this door. So we're just going to blow this up. And here we are. So we're just heading down below here now. So yeah, when you're falling down here, you can actually get into Area 2. And here we are. This area and the music's just incredible. This whole old castle vibe is crazy to me. So you think this is all underground, but that's not the case. You're actually transporting to different worlds or dimensions, which I didn't really know as a kid. I'm like, this is all underground? This is insane, right? Who built all this stuff? But in the Japanese version, it explains it quite a bit better. than this one. I can't even pronounce the name. I don't know it offhand right now. But a quick Google search will tell you what it is. But yeah, the cutscene's a little bit different and stuff like that in the Japanese version as well. But anyways, yeah, we're going through this area. This is actually kind of confusing to navigate. I just remembered so much as a kid that I kind of navigate it in autopilot. And if I'm being honest, guys, I do levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 the most in this game. And I rarely make it through it nowadays. But I should feature a full gameplay of this as a live stream. I should definitely do that. I will say as well, the tank itself, some of the abilities that you get later in the game, like the actual tire grab where you're like clinging around the walls and stuff, is really damn hard to use. So I find it easier to navigate at the beginning of the game than it is at the end. And I'm just telling you right now that that cling ability is a blessing and a curse, because when you don't want to grab, you'll grab. And when you want to grab, sometimes you won't. It's really hard to use it. You're going to have to practice that like crazy. Like this game, for when it comes to difficulty, is definitely like an 8 out of 10. It is not easy to beat this game at all. Most people don't, right? Most people will never see anything past like maybe the second level because it's just so hard. Even level 3 is kind of confusing to navigate. Like I said, with your manual and stuff, it does make it a bit easier to look through it. Now there's lots of long plays and stuff on YouTube and other platforms where you can kind of see what you're doing. But back in the day, all we had was the manual, and if you didn't read the manual, you didn't know that the map was like the way it is, and that was kind of the case for me. I was stuck at, I think it was level 3, or maybe level 4 for like a really long time. Like, I'm talking weeks, if not months. When I went back to this, eventually, I started getting further, and then I really started to love it. You can actually select missiles and stuff like that. See me use that to kill there, which is always a good way to kill these enemies and stuff. I really like that the tank has more than one weapon type. The lightning bolt's kind of situational, but the missiles and the homing missiles, man, they are so good. Homing missiles are really damn good. Just grabbed a rainbow P there. It gives you 4, I believe, on your tank. Not really needed, but yeah. So here we are. We're getting to our second 3 1/4 section. There's a lot more in these maps too, by the way, if you want to go to them. I personally don't want to do that. I just want to go pretty much as fast as I can without making too many mistakes. So I'm going to go up here because I think there's gun up here. I'm not entirely sure if there's gun up here or not. But I seem to remember that there was. No, there isn't. Okay, we're going to head on back. Alright, kill that guy, whatever. I used to think these guys look like Bart Simpson for some reason. I think it's like the haircut. They also look like Frankenstein a bit. I don't know what their story is. I have no idea what the whole situation is with them. But here we are. There's actually some stuff usually in these that you can grab. So the way the gun works in this, guys, is that if you get your gun bar filled up, it does a really powerful wave attack. But every 2 that you get, it gives you a different weapon shot type. Like the first one, I believe, is a really long gun, and then the 3 and the 4 one is a it like curves every second bullet or so. And then after that, it turns into the waveform, which absolutely melts everything. So we're just heading around here now. I think the second boss is called Crabulus, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of a cool boss. And honestly, the design is very insectoid. It looks really good. So yeah, we're getting close here now. Down here is where we get to pee. We'll grab that, get some health, because we're going to need it for the boss. Alright, here we go. Yeah, so I think the next room is the boss room. It is... Yes, it is. Okay, this is Crabulus. And he shoots these little bubble things that you can defeat with your normal weapon. So what you do is you stick and go. Now, if this was on the NES version, this would be super slow, by the way, and kind of harder to navigate in some ways, but also easier to avoid getting hit, because you can detect those bullets a little bit faster, or a little bit slower, I should say. So here you are, just keep going with the waves, avoid the hands and stuff. You shouldn't take too much damage on this boss, it's not too bad. There's definitely harder ones. Once you get into like the frog and stuff with the fire tongue, this game gets crazy hard. And the last boss, if you don't know the trick, down on the bottom right hand side, you can basically not get hit by him. He keeps banging into the wall and he can't hit you with his whip, which is kind of crazy. Alright, so heading back into our tank here now. We're going to head to Area 3. It's just basically backtracking almost to the beginning of this level. This is what I'm talking about. Without the map and stuff, this gets pretty screwy. I do recommend that if you're going to play it blind, have a lot of patience, because it does have a structure that is very asymmetrical, and you don't really know where to go. You do a little bit based off some of the solutions where you have to hover and stuff, and there's a couple where you need the tank wall grab in order to get up around it. But other than that, yeah, it's absolutely a maze, and that turns people off from this game a little bit. But I would say push through it, because it definitely has some of the coolest music, some of the coolest bosses, and definitely some of just the coolest vibes on the 8-bit system, the Nintendo, man. This is a big one for me. This definitely stands up there with things like Mega Man and all that stuff, and Metroid. This is a really damn cool game. I mean, what else do you need? Powerful abilities, really cool friggin' tank, really exotic areas, and like very unique areas as well with great music, man. I don't know. I might be biased, but I think that Blaster Master is my favorite game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And it's just because of all these little secrets. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my Blaster Master unboxing and gameplay. We'll see you next time here at COIFISH Gaming. Bye everybody. Have a great day.